This episode is brought to you by Kiggins Cult of Horror, which is a new live show experience by Horror Movie Talk presented at the Kiggins Theater in classic downtown Vancouver, Washington on Main Street. We're going to be presenting a series of live shows that include us, some fun bits, games, and trivia, and then the main course, one movie at the end of each month, starting in March. With The Exorcist on March 25th. That show is going to have free popcorn presented by streamlounge.io. And then we have our other dates, which are April 22nd, where we will be playing The Burbs. May 27th with The Fly. And finally capping off the series with June 24th, we will be playing Hereditary. And this is just going to be a blast. Doors open at 9. We really need your support. So and I'll be giving away a prize to the person who comes from the farthest away. So we really need your help showing up. And we got a ton of fun stuff that we're going to be doing and giving away. And it's going to be a fun culty atmosphere. So come on down to the Kiggins Cult of Horror starting March 25th. With The Exorcist.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go, 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 go.
I just had to stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face!
Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good.
It sounds like a gorilla's after me now. Oh my god, it's a gorilla! He's chasing after me!
Oh no, it's a gorilla and he's chasing after me. The good news is that gorilla doesn't have a chainsaw. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. Your panel of expert hosts each week are Dr. Bruce Hansen, who holds a PhD in spookology, and me, Professor David Day. I'm the foremost expert in scare no-nos.
You know, it's been a while since we've done the high energy morning zoo.
Yeah?
Version.
Are you thinking it's time?
Well, not now. I ruined it.
Oh, okay. Well, good. It's exhausting for me.
Yeah.
We've got a great show for you guys today. Today, we will be reviewing one of the most requested reviews I think we've had in, a long, long time. I think this is even more, I'm getting more and more people asking for this than even Scream 5. Today, we're going to be reviewing Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix. You guys should check out our website, horrormovietalk.com. From there, you can find links to all the important stuff. We got merch. We got, social media accounts. We got all that baloney. We also have second Saturday watch parties, where we hop on to streamlounge.io. You follow us on there, and then we watch a movie with you over one of these streaming platforms, and we just have a good time. And finally, we post new episodes every single Wednesday, so make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Bump those. Give me those 5 stars, baby. Don't be stingy, Mark. And if you'd like to get a hold of the show, call us at 682-253-4468. We start out the show by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale 1 to 10. You know how that works. 5 is totally average, by the way. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and spoil the ever-loving shit out of this movie. And then we'll talk about what we liked and hated in the spoilers. Later in this episode, I have a new game that's just kind of us thinking out loud and you yelling into your phone or your car speakers. No, that's not how it works. And it's called Which Killer Wins, where we pit legendary horror movie killers against each other and try to decide which one wins. But first, before we get on to that, we got to talk about what we watched. Last night, or the night before, we watched the wildly popular and controversial new film on Netflix, which is called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They dropped this isn't the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's how you know it's from 2022. And we were shocked by the amount of home renovation involved in this iteration of the classic slasher franchise. So without further ado, let's get into the trailer.
So Harlow is a ghost town.
We have a vision for this place. All it needs is young blood.
I don't want to live here. This is a chance for people to start fresh somewhere. Somewhere safe. Hey guys, you should see this.
What are you doing in our house? You really shouldn't be here.
Oh my God.
This is Hardesty.
Sally, I'm afraid your old friend's back.
50 years I've been waiting for this night. Just to see him again.
Who?
Leatherface. Looks like it's you that he wants.
I'm not gonna let him kill you. Fear no evil. Fear no evil.
Try anything and you're canceled, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Buzz. As I said earlier, this movie can be watched on Netflix. This is a Netflix exclusive, premiered on Netflix, etc. My synopsis for this movie goes a little something like, a group of fresh, young social media influencers flood into a mostly abandoned Texas town called Harlow to help revitalize the community and auction off the town. They are intent on building a new, politically correct community in the heart of what was once the, quote, Deep South, with all the fixins of culture that entails. They end up finding one of the buildings, which is an old orphanage, still inhabited by an old lady and her gigantic mute son. The influencers have the old lady kicked out, and as a result, she dies of grief. Everyone gets way more Leatherface than they bargained for. My review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is this story was written by Fede Alvarez and Rodo Sayaguez.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Who also wrote Don't Breathe 2, which I loved, and the beloved 2013 remake of Evil Dead. Both of them together did the writing for those big movies. So they know their way around horrendous violence and hopeless terror. It's hard to say what's the right way to reboot a classic slasher, and this is a reboot. Some people will be so excited to get some great new content that they will overlook any flaw, and others will be so upset that their hallowed ground franchise was upset by a newcomer that they will hate it no matter what it does. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 and its resulting franchise have been through some incredible ups and downs when compared to other slasher franchises. The depths of cheesy cash grabs are right alongside some of the most revered sequels and reboots ever made in slasher history.
Yeah, I was talking to Aaron about this last night. It feels so weird. Like, I haven't seen any of the Texas Chainsaw sequels at all. But when I look at it, like, the thing that makes the original work is that it's, like, gritty, it's unhinged.
Yeah.
It's, like, small budget and, like, really thrown together. And, like, the things that make it disturbing are all attached to those elements, it feels like. So the entire concept of having a sequel just doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't replicate it by having a sequel.
It's rough. That being said, there are some, like the 2003 one, there's a couple that are just, they're really good. They're really good and gross and horrific, and and then there's, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, I think, with Matthew McConaughey, 1990. That's just stupid bonkers. And Texas Chainsaw 2. Like, these are just ridiculous movies that no one can take seriously. But they're held on, like, the same level that, you know, Season of the Witch, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is, which is like, hey, it's goofy. I remember it from being a kid, you know? Like, so yeah, I mean, you got the original TCM, which is maybe, I mean, it's in contention for one of the best horror movies ever made.
Right. I mean, I just look at this movie and the original, and I'm like, there's almost no connective tissue other than Leatherface being in it.
I just have nothing in common with you.
Like, it's not even close to the same. I don't know. It feels weird.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, this entry comes close to the brutality and disgusting, sweaty feeling atmosphere that the original gave us. While there is plenty of nitpicking that can and will be done by slasher fans, I think that this is an admirable entry into the genre, as admirable an entry into the genre as either the new Halloween 2018 or Halloween Kills movies. It does and with less time, you know, this is a short movie. It was quick and brutal and disgusting. It's gross, hard to watch in parts, extremely gory, and I didn't care about any of the characters at all. Meaning, it literally checks every single box needed to be a passable slasher. Do I love it to death? No. Would I point a slasher fan at it? Yeah, sure. It's brutal, hopeless, and terrible, and totally depraved. Sorry, not terrible. To be honest, though, I was hoping it would go even more violent and terrible than it did, and I don't know what that says about me. How did you feel about this? I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. I mean, I didn't hate it. I don't, I'm trying to sweep all the other TCMs out of the way and letting this kind of stand on its own two wobbly Bubba feet.
Yeah, I mean, I also give it a 7 out of 10.
Oh,
like,
okay.
that's my same score. And I mean, it's simple. It's what you expect with the slasher, and it fills in, like you said, all the check boxes. It does enough and a little more than you would expect with, like, character development. Like, and I think
I didn't see you going that way.
The writers, I mean, the main girl, what's her name?
Who cares?
Lily or whatever.
Disposable girl.
Not the one with the fro, but the other one.
Yeah, her sister. Yeah.
She was the fact that she gave her a backstory with, like, a school shooting and, aversion to guns and violence it was interesting. It was like, that's an interesting layer to add to a slasher.
Yeah.
The social influencers stuff, like, it was, slightly better than eye-rolling.
Yeah.
Like, my reaction to it was like, okay, it's a little hokey and funny and and timely, but it doesn't.
It's them kind of winking at you and being like, hey, we hate him too.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. Fine. We get to kill him now.
And then in terms of like just a slasher Leatherface, like the violence is there. I think my one qualm is like, what makes this different than Halloween at this point? Like what makes Leatherface any different from Michael Myers in this film other than having a chainsaw for some of it?
Well, he runs. He's bigger.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. You know, like nothing.
Like it really did feel like
he wears a person's face as a mask.
Because, like, again, going back to the original is like it's a depraved family, and there's just chaos in this hillbilly home that these unsuspecting kids walked into. And I guess there's a little bit of that, but mostly it's focusing on Leatherface the killer.
Yeah.
Like, and he's stalking you. It's all about stalking and not like invading into their world.
He's
kind of
complex
thing.
In this movie. Not only is he stalking you, he's also mourning the death of his mama.
Yeah. I mean, the mechanics are there, and it's actually kind of impressive. I mean, there's very few points where I was like, well, that's a really stupid thing. Like, why would that be a thing? Why would they make that choice?
Yeah.
Or why would that be the basis for this plot? Like, it works. I mean, his mom died. He's mad.
His orphanage mom. I don't know. It's unclear whether it doesn't seem she's his actual mom.
Yeah.
But.
And
they did go to minimal effort to tie this into the original. Yeah. If this is the same guy if this is the same Bubba from the original, then he's 50 years older.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch the end credit scene?
Yeah. No. What?
It's not worth it. But there was a short scene at the end of the credits.
We'll get into it in spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, 7 out of 10. It's not crazy good.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Why would you not?
Yeah, just watch it.
If you're a horror fan.
It's totally brutal for shit that's on Netflix. Yeah. I gotta say, I am a little just knowing how far these the story writers can go. Fede Alvarez and what is the other fellow's name? Let's see here.
Looking forward to the pronunciation.
Rodo Sayaguez. Yeah, knowing how hard these guys can go, like Don't Breathe 2, and with Evil Dead, the 2013, I like this one comparably hard, but they could go harder, especially with the TCM. These guys are the cusp of like total brutality writers in horror movies right now.
Well, I don't know. I think the brutality's there. I think now that I've seen, several of their films, I'm like, okay, there's kind of a through line with them, which is talk about trauma. Like, and then main characters got trauma or addiction, and then get fucked.
Yeah. What is it? Hysterical blindness.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely worth watching on Netflix. There's probably not. Yeah, Netflix has slim pickings with horror sometimes.
Yeah, but this one came through. I mean, this is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
You know what else is pretty brutal is if you head on over to nightchannels.com and you give all of their new stuff a look. And they got shirts and sweatshirts and all kind of garments with all kinds of crazy prints. Horror, you got cult, you got music, you got, all kinds of satanic stuff. They even have like ACAB shirts if that's your thing. Mm-hmm. So go over there, check them out. And when you fill up your basket with tons and tons of nice, sweet stuff, you can use code HMT at checkout to get yourself 13% off your whole order. And you know what? When you get that order, you get your 5 or 6 super sweet, shirts or sweatshirts in the mail, they'll give you I don't know. In my orders, I've gotten little coupons for even more off. So you keep coming back and you'll want to. It's called the Night Channels Challenge for a reason. You know, we know that if you go to nightchannels.com, take a look around, you'll find something that you can't live without and you'll be back.
Do it.
And you know what? I think they're going to be there for our first show on March 25th at the Kiggins, selling horror-themed shirts. So come check them out at the Kiggins, and I'm super excited. Actually, you know what we need to do in the spoilers? First thing we got to do is talk about how we feel about the Kiggins, because I think that's relevant. No?
I don't know. I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, I just want to express my feelings to our listeners about how it makes me feel.
Okay.
And like my worries and my excitement. Okay. Anywho, also, if you're listening to these commercials, you should know that you don't have to. You can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk, and you can become a subscriber at any level, and one of those levels and above, so the $6.66 and above, all those tiers, no commercials. You get an early release of each of our episodes, and they have the commercials taken out of them. So go ahead, and that's the best way to support us directly over there. And my God, have you people been great. Bryce, would you mind bringing up? That's the first thing we'll do. We'll thank patrons on in the first thing in spoilers. If you guys would like to support the show and rep the show, you can do so by going to horrormovietalk.com/shop, shopping around for a shirt or a sticker or a coaster or who knows what, all kinds of fun stuff, all drawn by our super hard fucking artist, Dustin Goebel, who has a cold right now, and he really needs your support because it could be the untimely end of Dustin. I don't know. He's expressed that things are getting worse by the day.
Still?
Yeah, he's real sick. Help him out.
Going like a week long.
Yeah, contact him at dgoebel00. That's at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram. Make your artistic dreams come true because he does commissions. Tell him we sent you. And finally, give us a call at 682-253-4468. That gets you through to our voicemail line. You can drop us a line. Tell us what you think about TCM and why we're wrong. Thanks again for listening, and let's get into spoilers. Spoilers. At this point, we're going to spoil things, but first, we're going to say thank you to the following new patrons.
So we got V. Pierre. I should probably spit out the ice. V. How do you say that last name, David? You're better at reading. Pereira.
Why
Pereira.
Just say her first name.
D. Moore.
What are you doing? Why are you abbreviating the first name and giving the last name?
Isn't that how we've been doing it?
No.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. Just read their whole name. Victoria
Darren
P.
M.
Demi Moore. Hey, we have Demi Moore.
Yeah. I was going to ask her about Charles Band.
I think you did.
Mm-hmm. It's not the real Demi Moore.
It is a real Demi Moore.
It is a real Demi Moore.
Right.
Well, thank you, Demi. And Caitlin A.
Hey, I know that lady. She's a nice lady. There you go. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. We really appreciate you. And you know, I mean, we got a ton of free content over on Patreon. Bryce, I need to get some stuff out about the Kiggins. I'm concerned that if we don't have a bunch of fans there at the Kiggins on March 25th at 9 p.m. at night to watch The Exorcist, if we don't have listeners of the show there, I don't know how good I'm going to do. I'm worried about it.
It's going to be great.
It'll be better if there's a bunch of people like cheering us on. You know? I need that vibe. I want listeners to show up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many we have in the Portland metro area.
A lot. We have a ton. It's like our third biggest market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope everyone shows up. Definitely. But I know, like, of the active fans, I'm sure we'll get some people. We have fans in Vancouver.
Yes.
That can show up. I would say, well, I'm not going to say numbers because I'm always very conservative around my expectations with how this is going to go.
We're going to fill up the whole theater.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think we'll get into it. It'll be great. Even if I'd always look at the worst case scenario. It's like, what's the worst case? Silence. And we do our shtick.
Well, they could boo us. It could be worse than silence. It could always be worse than silence. Could be. They could
see if they boo us or like yell at us. Like that gives me even more to work with.
Okay.
I would rather have that than silence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
I do not wish that on me, please. Thank you.
Well, I mean. We'll take everything in stride. It's going to be fine. When we did our little rehearsal, when we wrote out the script for our section, I'm very confident that we'll be able to have the same fun that we have recording the podcast.
Oh, I am too. I just hope a lot of our listeners show up because I need to feel that support. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's get into spoilers. The opening scene starts in a gas station, and I swear to you, this feels like the exact same gas station from No Country for Old Men, where he does the coin flip, where he's like, call it. Mm-hmm. Dude's like, I gotta know what's on the line. He's like, everything. It feels like the exact same gas station. I don't know. Did that strike you at all?
No. But I'm curious. You skipped over your first bullet point, which is lap dance is so much better when the stripper is crying.
Yeah, it's a Bloodhound Gang song that this movie reminded me of a lot because there's one line. I was going to play it for the opening commercial, but I remembered that we should do the Kiggin spot. Mm-hmm. But there's this one part where he's talking about this stripper who he's picking up, and he's like, I told her how I would wear her face like a mask as I do my little kooky dance. Well, she smiled, had about as many teeth as a jack-o'-lantern. That night I lost myself to ruby red lips, baby blue eyes, and milky white skin. Name was Russell. And then he goes on to the chorus, which is, lap dance is so much better when the stripper is crying. Do, 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 do. Anyway, that vibe was throughout this movie. It just felt like despair and and regret, regretful sexual innuendo.
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about these kids for a minute. 5 minutes in, and you're like, I get it. I want these kids dead. I want them dead right away. Was that a feeling for you?
I mean, they were like your fodder. I mean, definitely, like, they were there to be murdered, and that makes sense. And the thing that I pulled away from was like, oh wait, these aren't children. These are like kids. These are people in their 20s, and it made me feel so ancient. I was like, oh, this is what 20-year-olds look like.
When the shoe fits, Bryce.
That's what I used to look like. A child.
A child.
Only one thing's worse than a rapist.
A child.
No. Yeah, so
there's 4 kids. There's 2 social media influencers. A young man.
Which they're like a chef or cooks or something?
A young man named Dante and a young woman named Melody. played by Jacob Lattimore and Sarah Yarkin. These are the influencers. They're both chefs, ? It's so vaguely. It's like, what? Okay. It's such a throwaway thing that nobody cares about. And then Sarah's sister is also there. Lila, played by Elsie Fisher. She's the one who has a background in school shootings. And then there's Dante's girlfriend, Ruth, played by Nell Hudson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, like, the main, Melody is kind of the woke police.
Yeah.
And as well as Dante. And the whole idea of, like, they're going to be influences and they're going to go into basically a ghost town in Texas.
Yeah.
And
Harlow.
And influence people to come out and start their lives anew, which is, like, I mean, not believable, but it was interesting, the fact of like during COVID, people just realizing, like, oh, we can do our work from anywhere.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Fuck am I doing
so
in this
like
hellhole?
that part was believable, where they're like, but yeah, we could buy this entire city block for what it would take to have a food truck.
Right.
And you're like, But when they start going like, oh yeah, and this will be a great place to have my art studio, and you're looking at an abandoned town.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so wait.
So no one can come see your art? Yes, that would be a perfect place for your art.
So a 6-hour drive from Austin.
Yeah.
People are just going to migrate to.
Yeah.
It was interesting. The fact, like, it's not believable, but I love the fact that the town mechanic is like, oh, so you're a cult. I'm like, no, we're just how do they put it? We're like, we're people working for a better world. It's like, yeah, that's a cult for you.
Stripped directly from King of the Hill. Right. Directly from King of the Hill. Yeah. Dale and Hank pull up in a truck and they go, "Is this the cult?" And the guy who's outside the car goes, "No, we're just accepting of everyone and full of love and yada yada yada." And okay, this is the cult. It's like.
But I think it's a good setup, especially for getting a bunch of, a bus full of victims.
It's really
to go to a completely abandoned town.
I'll give it originality points because I would have never in my wildest dreams come up with this series of like, okay, who are our victims going to be? Social media influencers. Okay, I'm on board so far. What are their, why did they become influencers? They're chefs?
They're chefs.
Oh, ding, ding. I'm like, wait, what? They're chefs. And then, okay, so what are they trying to do? Well, they realized they could move anywhere in the world. So they're like, why am I in the hellhole that is Cleveland or whatever it is? Wherever, insert city. And so what they did is they bought hell on earth, a whole town named Harlow, Texas.
Right.
Like, it's like all of these unlikely,
yeah.
But it's interesting, you go.
You can buy an entire building for $10,000 and renovate it for $500,000 to have it usable.
And then sell it for $500,000. No, dude, this is like, the believable part about this is how much of my time is spent doing this exact thing on my phone with Zillow. I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah. I could buy something in Fishtown in Philly and just clean the fuck up. I could buy it for $3,000. Yeah. And then I'll do all the work. Oh shit. I could buy this place down on 8 Mile. I could do it and then just make it good and then people will flock to it. It's like, it's not how it happens. People don't drive out to Harlow, Texas.
Right.
To be,
but the other aspect of the influencers and Gen Z wokeness that was equal parts believable and unbelievable as a plot point.
Yeah,
is when the mother dies So what happens is they show up in town and they're like, hey, we own the whole town. Like, we have the deeds for everything. We're going to auction it off. And then they go onto the one house and there's
the orphanage.
Because they need to take down this Confederate tattered flag to not offend. I love it. They're like, if that bus shows up and they see a tattered Confederate flag,
this whole thing's done.
No one's going to buy.
How many times do you think influencer chefs say stick a fork in it?
Because, like, in the world, it's like, oh no, I'll be canceled because there's a Confederate flag that exists in a southern town in rural Texas.
Shock.
So then they find out that it's still inhabited and it's not supposed to. Mm-hmm. This old lady, and they tell her, like, she's evicted, and she insists that she still owns the house and that it was all paid. And then the lady dies.
Tragically. In an ambulance accident.
No. She dies in transit to the hospital.
Well, it was an accident that she died, and it was in an ambulance, so it was an ambulance accident.
Okay. There we go. But the fact that, like, their reaction was like, we killed an old lady, which is like, what? Me as a, exennial would look at that and be like,
don't do that. Oh my God. This is the grossest. You're a millennial.
I can label myself however I want. I identify as an exennial.
I'm identifying you as a turd.
And I look at it, I'm like, well, obviously it's not your fault, She was sick. And
but you can draw that line pretty easily too.
But the real, like, unspoken thing was like, we killed her because of our capitalist greed of evicting her from her home that she might rightfully own.
Does rightfully own.
And we find out later that she does rightfully own. But
and Bubba is not having nothing of it.
The regret of, like, because they mentioned, like, oh, this is what late stage capitalism looks like, and then all of a sudden they're the person evicting, the poor person from their home.
Oh, how the turntables!
With nowhere to turn. So that stuff like that was interesting and fun, but also kind of made me roll my eyes.
Our very own Keith Harris, who came on to the Scream 5 show, who guested as our Scream 5 show, he made a very funny spoof trailer of this that I laughed at a lot.
Really?
Yeah, and it's great, and you should check it out over on our Facebook group over there.
He made it?
Yeah, he made it. He made the spoof trailer. I mean, it's it's not like some massive technical achievement, but there's plenty of memes and nods of like, this is how you'll like it.
Okay,
we'll check it out after this.
Before we get into it too far, I went on the IMDb page, and I don't know about you, but I was kind of blown away because I didn't realize who some of these actors were. So the main character, Leela, played by Elsie Fisher.
Yeah, Lila.
Did you recognize her?
She looked familiar. And now looking at her IMDb picture, she's much more clearly the girl from 8th grade.
Right.
Yeah. And
she looks very different. Well, number one, because she's not blonde.
And she's not in 8th grade anymore, right?
And she's not. But, like, no, she looked very different in 8th grade.
Yeah. But by the way, like, we cannot express how much you need to see 8th grade.
Right.
By Bo Burnham. Like, a spectacular movie. A truly, like, it's not horror, but it's very adjacent.
Right. And in terms of, like, using the current day youth situation and commenting on what reality is, 8th grade is the most realistic of, like, oh, this is the hellscape that youth live in. And that was one where I was like, holy shit, that's Because I really liked her in this movie. She did really good.
Yeah, she did do great. She's
a good actress.
A stunningly
to the point where
good actress.
The point where I was like, when I saw that she was the actress from 8th grade, I was like, oh, she was really acting in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot. It's not a documentary.
Yeah.
And then the other one that kind of blew my mind was the mother that dies.
Okay.
She was the Borg queen.
No shit.
Yeah.
No fucking shit.
Yeah, Alice Krieg.
From Nexus or whatever it is?
From First Contact. And
all the others.
All the other
So
stuff.
the show and... Well, she was the witch from Gretel and Hansel.
Oh, yeah.
Borg Queen. Dang. First Contact. Let's see here. You guys, you'll have to forgive us. We're
looking at IMDb.
We're kind of Star Trek fans, so it's a little bit of a thing.
I mean, David's more of a fan than I am.
Come on.
He likes Deep Space
You've seen
Nine.
all the movies.
Yeah. What
Deep Space Nine is great.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a nerd would say.
You don't... Well, you wouldn't know because you haven't even...
nerd.
You haven't even given it a shot.
I did give it a shot.
Oh, yeah?
I watched, like, the first episode, and I was like, wow, this is shit.
Oh, yeah. I can judge... let me see here. 7 times 26. However... I can judge 200 episodes of a show based on literally the first episode.
Oh, that's how good I am.
You're so stupid. No, that's how bad you are. I'm so upset. I'm not doing the rest of this... You take it back. I'm not doing the rest of this review unless you take that back. It's so absurd. Take it back.
Captain Sisko.
Take it back. He's Commander Sisko.
Commander Sisko.
He's so stupid.
He wrote the thong song, right?
Your mom wrote the thong song. Because she wears one all the time. Ask me how I know. So the old lady who ran the orphanage. God, I don't know. I'm going to turn into Leatherface. I've never been this worked up on a show. Ugh. Okay, so the old lady who ran the orphanage had one orphan left, and it was Bubba. It was Leatherface. And he was in the ambulance with her, caring for her as she took her last breath and then died. And immediately once she died, he flipped a switch, you know?
And does the thing that every loving son would do to, honor the memory of his mother, which is cut her fucking face off and wear it.
He loved her.
Uh-huh.
Wear her face like a mask as he does his little kooky dance. Yeah, he loved her.
Sorry, it's not his mother. I keep saying that it's his mother, but I realize now that it's
his caretaker.
Orphanage
lady.
Girl.
There.
I don't know. Man, I need to go get coffee.
You're really
low
flagging.
energy today.
You're really... Here, I have some tobacco. Would you like some chewing tobacco?
No.
Oh, it'll pep you up. Put some pep in your step. I've been stressed out with the world as it is today, and this is how I'm coping. It's great.
Really? What's going on?
Chemical dependence.
What's going on in the world?
Just all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I don't want to get.
Did Trump get reelected?
Oh my God! Shut up. So yeah, Bubba kills the police officer with his own broken arm. I love this.
Yeah. That was pretty great.
Where he just snaps his arm in two, and he's like, I'm going to use your own arm as a weapon to stab you in the face with. And I was like, God damn, that's brutal.
Yeah, the brutality in this is great. And then later when he just smashes the guy's head in with a hammer and then just keeps going at it until it just shows you the whole thing, which is... most of the time it's implied or you see like the initial impact, but to like go from, a fully formed human head to mash on the floor.
Yeah.
Like it you don't have to imagine it.
Remember Possessor? That was the other one that went so hard in this like really brutal macroscopic violence. Like it's like, whoa, like it was, but Leatherface was absolutely brutal. And the whole time he wore a fresh skin mask of his mom, his mama.
Yeah.
And he proceeded to rip the face off of Ruth. Like, that was his thing. Like, just
took her face
off.
Oh man, I probably have that clip somewhere.
What's that from? What is it from?
It's from a Nick Cage movie. I can't remember what it's called.
I think what's his face is in it?
It's from a movie where Nick Cage has his face taken off, and John Travolta has his face taken off. I think it's called The Men
Who Couldn't Slow Down. So at this point, Leatherface has started his rampage, and then we have the entrance of Hardesty as the Jamie Lee Curtis character, right? This is basically Halloween 2018 redone.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird that it's almost exactly the same, where it's like...
Yeah, us too. Yeah, we're doing that same thing.
Our Leatherface is old too.
Yeah.
He's an old... isn't it scarier when there's an old Leatherface?
He's old, and
there's one survivor.
The one survivor from his original massacre. Here she is.
Yeah.
And she's old too.
You know that thing that happened like 70 years ago?
70 years
And was
ago.
like one day of this woman's life? That's been the sole focus of her entire existence ever since.
She's lived her life up until this point solely to see him again.
Right.
Seems like you'd live your whole life just to be like, I don't ever want to see that person again. That's how I live most of my life anyway.
I had this thought of like, because both of them are like Jamie Lee Curtis and this actress are like the strong, thin old ladies where it's like, you could see her working on a farm, You want the portly, pear-shaped. I would like
postmenopausal,
a middle-aged postmenopausal, like
getting hot flashes,
like permed,
like having to sit down a lot because she's winded,
kind of just waddling over, and it's like, I've been waiting my whole life. And she like,
point my finger in your face.
I want to speak to your manager. And she's like rustling around in her like hobo bag of a purse.
Leatherface just fucking kills himself. It's like, I would rather not have to deal with this fucking Karen.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a good concept for a movie. Okay. So we're going to take this concept and we're just going to flip it on its head.
Mm-hmm.
Leatherface from 1974 he's done his time. He's been in a mental institution.
Sounds familiar.
He's really worked on himself, and he's paid his debt to society, whatever that looks like.
Right.
And now, because of his past, all he can do is hold down like a shitty cashier job at the Salvation Army. Like,
right. Like, he's played by John Malkovich.
And he's just doing customer service at point of sale. And then the girl who escaped approaches in the exact, we're making it better right now.
I know.
She approaches as a Karen, and she just makes his life a living hell. And she's now the bad guy that he has to escape from. Right. So now the turntables, and he has to escape from her, but she's got her finger and it's just permanently hooked at his face, and she's pointing it at him, and she threatens him with like a little teeny pink bottle of mace.
And then he takes out a chainsaw and just falls on it.
Right. I must have like fallen on this chainsaw. And it wedged itself into my spine.
Yeah, I mean it's a carbon copy.
Yeah.
Of Halloween 2018.
Yeah,
it's crazy that they're like, oh, we'll just do that then.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, like this could literally be the new template.
The new template for slashers.
Why not? They've always had a template.
People that were in their 20s in the 80s are now still killers.
Right. Oh, dude. Yeah, Robert Englund will finally come back as Freddy.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at it, how often is there a serial murderer that goes on a spree in the 80s and then does nothing for 40 years?
Right. Well,
and then it's like now.
Right. Well, I mean,
now as I'm in my 60s, now this will be my prime time for killing.
It's prime time. It's kill time, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting that they. I hope it is the new template. Let's see here. Where are we at?
We can just go over a lot of the kills. They're pretty great.
Yeah.
So like, well, there's kind of a callback to the original movie with the, what's his name?
What is his name?
The cook guy.
Oh, Dante?
Dante.
Yeah.
Where Dante is trying to run away and then Leatherface grabs him and pulls him back into the room. That's a callback.
Yeah.
And then he,
is he the one who got his leg broke?
No, that was the mechanic guy.
Oh, okay.
But Dante gets...
That leg break was fucking insane.
Yeah. Dante gets a cleaver through his jaw, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And then he lives long enough to die, I guess.
Lives long enough to die. Don't we all?
Yeah. And then, the mechanic guy, he's probably the most brutal because there's just this giant... What kind of hammer is that?
What, a sledge of some variety?
I guess it's
like a hand sledge.
Yeah, hand sledge.
Yeah, they have like 3-pound hand sledges.
And he just knocks his... What is that? Shin?
Yeah.
And just snaps it.
Oh, you could see all his weight was on it.
Yeah.
And it just wings out.
I'll tell you what, I've seen women shit into cups and feed it to each other. I've seen guys get fucked by a horse on the internet. There's any number of shocking things that I've witnessed in this age of the web. There's nothing that disturbs me now more than seeing people jump and have their knees go the other way.
Oh, yeah, that's real rough. You know,
that's the only thing that I like stand up and run away from at this point in my life. I don't know why. Maybe it's I just have empathy and worry that will happen to me one day, where it's just like, oh, your legs don't go that way. So when people are doing like the what's it called? The leg presses.
Okay,
weight that's like 5 times more than they should, and
Why
then
are you doing this to me?
It just starts going down. And their knees are going the other way. They jump off a roof and land, and their knees go.
That one is so brutal.
Or they're on like the jump, the trampoline, building where it's all trampolines inside. That's why I don't jump on trampolines anymore, because that's all I see is like my legs are going to turn backwards.
Yeah, that's why you don't jump on trampolines.
Yeah.
All these trampolines everywhere, and you're just like, nope, not doing that. My legs could go backwards. No, the thing that I don't like, of all the internet videos that really disturb me, the people who think they can slash tires under high pressure are, I know this is specific, but holy shit. Like there are regular tires, and yeah, they got some pressure in them. They're under like 32 psi. You know, that's not a big deal.
Then
but these
like
tires that are
bulldozer tire.
Yeah, there's these tires that are under like 200 to very high hundreds psi, where people are like, "I'm going to slash this tire," and it's like, no, you're fucking not. You're going to die. You're just going to explode.
Yeah, there's ones where it explodes and like it just blows off all their clothes.
Their arm just literally flies in the other direction, and they're just like, what happened? Like, okay, okay, we got it out. I've been watching a lot of Wild Boys with Steve-O and Chris Pontius, and every episode, 5 or 6 times an episode, you just get Steve-O. Oh, dude.
That's a really good impression. That's a really good impression of Steve-O.
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude. So there's this recurring theme of the sunflower field, which I thought was a really effective, cool thing that I hadn't seen in movies up until this point. Like, really spooky. It accomplishes the same thing as a cornfield does, kind of. Like, it kind of limits your field of view, but it looks like a bunch of heads, kind of, like, all over the place. Yeah. I like the sunflower field aesthetic, and they brought it in a couple times. When Hardesty finds Ruth in the sunflower field, that was a truly disturbing moment. Yeah. Where Ruth's face was just... It was like a reverse... what do you call it? It was like a reverse scalping. Because all her hair was still there, but her face was not. Someone had pulled her face off.
See, you're not in the room with us as we're saying face off, but you have to picture like our hand closing and then going directly away from our faces.
Right. Yeah. Like a pincer move.
You got to watch Face Off to understand the reference. Let's see. Underfloor poop pipe. So the one thing,
lots of renovation in this movie. Yeah. Home renovation.
So finally, when okay, I have a little beef. Let's talk about the chainsaw for a little while.
Everybody has beef with this. It's like, I mean, look, me too, but also just have fun.
It's fun. It didn't distract me that much, but it is distracting. Some of the things like. So you have the chainsaw. Yeah. I'll complain most about the sound design. The sound design on this is awful because, I think everyone knows what a chainsaw sounds like when you turn it on, So all you hear sometimes is the chain or the pull cord being pulled. So you hear like, and then but you never hear it like turn over and turn on. It goes from that to just being on later, like in a couple seconds. Right. And then sometimes it's completely silent. It's not like idling. Right. There's like, oh, no. It's better if you just see it.
There are some, so I'll give you this. There's some, like, I know chainsaws pretty well. Right. I've worked with chainsaws a decent amount in my life. There are some very cool sounding chainsaws that you can pull from. There's some very powerful chainsaws that you can pull sounds from. Like you get a real deep throaty sound with like huskies versus like a more tinny, like high pitched sound with steels. And here is one of the most powerful chainsaws in production today. This is the Steel MS 881. So this is a chainsaw.
Hold on, let me get my pen.
This is a chainsaw with the bore of like a medium-sized kid's dirt bike. Right? So this is the engine that could propel a 125-pound kid at 60 miles an hour. Well, maybe 40 miles an hour. Here we go. There's a brake on. Warm it up. Damn, like hot knife through butter. And I came.
David is at full mast right now.
So, and look.
So, yeah, I mean, like the
chainsaw that they gave him was little teeny tiny little kind of wienery thing.
It was like a Black & Decker chainsaw that you would like plug in a battery to.
Yeah, it's like the Dremel of chainsaws.
Right. So that's one thing. But yeah, the sound design.
But
like,
I gotta say, chasing people, I'm gonna be super honest with you here. This is the most practical choice to kill people with was this saw. Because it's a chainsaw. It's got a chain spinning on a bar at high RPMs, and you don't want it to be heavy. You want something you can whip around. You don't want something you gotta like, ugh. I mean, Bubba's a big guy, but I mean, if you're carrying around a small dirt bike, it's not going to be wieldy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, do you want to use a long sword or do you want to use a rapier?
Right, a bat or a spear.
Right.
Right. You go for the bad every time.
Yeah, so, like, I feel like it was a lost opportunity because half of the terror of the chainsaw is the sound of the chainsaw. And, like, hearing it idle and hearing it, like, lurk in the background. That's one. And then the other one was just, for how small it is, it was unrealistically powerful. Like, when it's cutting through the floor and it cuts through
the poop pipe
like an 8x8 beam, like nothing.
Yeah. Your gripes make sense.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the point. The point is brutal murders, and there's them and spades.
Yeah, and the poop falling on the girl's head was just ugh.
It's great.
Poor 8th grader. Poor little. What was her name?
No, that wasn't the 8th grader.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
No.
Oh no, it was her sister. It was her big sister, Melody. My apologies. I got them mixed up. So let's talk about the big scene, which a lot of people were like, are lauding, about this movie, and it was the bus. It was the actual massacre in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, right?
Yeah.
You actually get a massacre in this movie.
Right.
But it was so tame. Like, the concept was super gross. Just a bunch of trapped people just being hacked apart.
Right.
But they could have gone dead alive with it.
Yeah, for as far as they went with, like, smashing in a head with hammer until it was pulp and, like...
Yeah, it's on Netflix. People pay to see this, right? So what are you doing holding back?
Right.
Why aren't we just going bonkers?
Yeah, it would have been nice to show a little more. I mean, some of it was it was cool in concept, but yeah, it was, whatever.
Yeah. And the opening part of that where the guy's like, where everybody just gets their camera out, that was great.
That was great. That was the one piece of humor where it was like, okay, that lands.
That lands so, in so many different ways. Like, it's like, oh, fuck you. Like, oh, you think you're going to stop him with your phone? Mm-hmm. Because that's everybody's first, like, do anything, you're canceled, buddy. And he's like, okay. Leatherface don't care.
What was the other thing? Oh, we keep saying that this is a Netflix movie. I read in the trivia that originally this was going to be a theatrical release. It was supposed to come out in, like, 2021, I think. But I guess it had some disastrous screenings of it where they were just like, let's just sell it to a streamer.
Interesting.
I can't imagine that. I mean,
it's the woke crowd.
How could
the woke crowd?
Is it though? Like,
look at what Halloween has become. Evil Dies Tonight, a bunch of kind of weirdly pandering, kind of like woke stuff. But just to get it released in theaters, I think they jumped through those hoops.
Evil Dies Tonight, I don't see the connection.
Well, they did a bunch of, like, I don't know. To be honest, I can't defend this point very well, so I'm not gonna.
I appreciate your honesty.
I refuse.
You said that this was, like, controversial. Like, what was controversial about it?
Well, I've listened to a couple different podcasts on this specifically, and a lot of reviewers really hate this. And I feel like it's nitpicking. And granted, a lot of what we do this right here and the spoilers is nitpicking, but that's all with the asterisks of, we both gave this a 7 out of 10.
Right.
And so, I don't know, there's been a lot of reviewers who have reviewed this poorly. I've seen a lot of controversial in the fact that it's liked or hated. Like, there's a lot of people who are very excited about this and want others to watch it, and there's a lot of people who are like, this is garbage.
Bugsy loved it.
Did he? Yeah, he said...
he liked it better than the new Michael Myers.
Yeah.
He thought Leatherface was a cooler character.
That's right. Yeah, he did say that. And I think I'm not going to lie. That was going through my head while I watched this movie. I was like, what does Bugsy think about this?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. He feels a lot spookier and a lot more real than the new Michael does.
I don't know. They feel equivalent in my head. Like
this guy runs. He scrambles. But not only that, Mark Burnham is this Leatherface, and he is a unit.
Yeah.
An absolute unit.
I mean,
Big man.
here we go. Like, Michael Myers runs. You just never see him run.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, of course he runs. He appears wherever he needs to.
You know,
that means like behind the scenes, he's like, and then he like gets into like behind the counter. And he's like,
okay, and
then the person comes in and he's like stoic.
Yeah.
And then he kills him.
It Follows is just literally Halloween invisible Mike Myers.
Right.
It's just invisible Mike Myers. And I love it so much more than regular Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he shows up with a dick out, you know? Sometimes you'll see him and his dick will be out. And you'll be like, damn, that Mike Myers got his dick out.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? I think we can all agree that should be whatever the Halloween's final form is.
I think one of the most laudable things about this
super
movie,
erect penis, Mike Myers.
Tell me more.
Like he's got the jumpsuit on and it's just a tent out in front.
And Michael Myers got a huge dick.
Oh my God, dude. Like
bankable.
Talk about absolute unit.
If you were to line up every single horror like icon, Michael Myers has got him beat.
I'm not a fan of Michael Myers, but I'm still going to be like, oh, yeah, obviously.
He's got length and girth.
Yeah, he like passes out when he gets a hard on.
And just like a pleasing tapering.
Do you think like, are we going straight up with it or is it like a curve?
I'm talking about like the shape of the shaft.
No, but I'm moving on to like.
Yeah. Ooh, it's going to be like an angry, like slight curve at the end. It's going to be straight and then like have like the curve up.
Yeah,
on
no,
the
you're
head.
right. Yeah, it has to be somewhat disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can't just be pleasing.
Yeah.
It's also got to like hook you.
Yeah. But it hits that spot just right. You
you get on your side and then boom. Then you're in flavor country.
What have we become? Do you think he's circumcised?
Hardesty faces off with Leatherface in this. She's got a shotgun. She refuses to use it on him for some reason. Some inexplicable. Everybody in the movie theater has to yell at the screen moment.
It's the James Bond villain moment of like, finally, I have you where I want. I've been waiting for 40 years, and like slowly walking towards him is like, can you shoot his fucking head off?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? And then when she does use a shotgun, it's like unbelievably ineffective.
Ow. Oh. I have a slight crick in my back.
Ew, I'm not fucking.
Yeah, this face-off is so action-packed. It turns into this kind of weird action movie at the end, and I kind of like it, even though
I like the ending. I like that. I think the plunging into that decrepit pool at the end was a pretty cool thing. Like
lots of false deaths for
false deaths. I like the very ending where like it's a callback to the original where she's looking back at him as he's like swinging around, and it's like just this kind of like it's silly, but it's cool because they get in the Tesla or whatever, some electric car that comes out of nowhere apparently. Like, does it ever explain where that car came from?
Shut up.
And they just put it on autopilot. And it proceeds to go at like 5 miles per hour.
There's Visa around. The cameras don't know what to do when it sees something it doesn't know what it is.
Right. Lots of red lines all over the road at this point.
He does grab Melody and just proceeds to he just brutalizes everyone in this movie who gets in his way. And
then it has Lila. I forgot.
Yeah,
Lila looking out the back, like in the original, looking out the back of the pickup truck. And she's...
Hardesty, by the way, gets completely eviscerated.
Yeah.
Just pulled apart. Yeah. So what happens in the post-credits on this one?
Oh, so there's like a short post-credits theme where he goes back to the farmhouse, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't really remember what the original house looked like, but I'm assuming it's the one from the original.
Neat. Okay, so
he's walking towards a house. It was very exciting.
We got that to look forward to. And who? I mean, final recommendations. Who do you think would like this? What do you think?
If you like horror, if you like slashers, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's.
If you like gore, sorry, did I say horror? If you like gore and slashers
or horror,
okay. This is the one thing that we haven't talked about. The most laudable thing about this film is the runtime.
Yeah.
An hour and 20 minutes.
80-minute long movie. Perfect.
And it was like they skipped over so much stuff. Like the editing in this was like on point.
Yeah.
Like everything was fast paced. Yes. You didn't have to dwell.
Got a full extra point from me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not going to even make this an hour 30? Great.
Watching this back to back with Studio 666 was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It just shows you how important editing and leaving stuff on the floor is.
Yeah, it's the most important part. Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. And it's where, like, who needs a 2-hour long Friday the 13th?
Right.
Nobody needs that. Shut up. So, now we're going to move on to our game for today, which is Which Killer Wins? I'm going to play it in here.
I can't believe that Bryce
doesn't like Deep Space Nine.
We should change this game just right now to Which Killer Fucks. Because we're already, like, way ahead.
What do you mean?
Michael Myers' dick.
Oh.
No, just kidding.
Actually.
We'll play Which Killer Wins, and then we'll play Which Killer Fucks.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so Which Killer Wins? I'm just going to pit two killers against each other. I tried to kind of do fair pairings, or what I saw as fair pairings. So you help me out here. I have them listed. You can look at them. Our first pairing is Freddy. That's Krueger. Right. Yeah. Versus Candyman. Okay. So my thinking here was
Razor Claws versus Hook.
Right, but they're both kind of supernatural, you know?
Sure.
They both are able to kind of bend reality a little bit.
Dreamlike.
Yeah, dreamlike kind of. So one has bees, the other has pedophilia.
Burns.
Yeah, burn victim. So how do you see this panning out? Which one of these wins in your book?
I'm going to say Freddy. Because I feel like he has more tools in this toolbox. But I don't know. I feel, okay, maybe not, because I don't think Candyman sleeps.
Right, I don't think he does.
Freddy couldn't do shit. But then how could they even fight then? It's a real conundrum. But I would say if you're just doing a face-off, I believe Freddy would win.
Just mano a mano. Dude, I think Candyman is a lot bigger than Freddy.
Well, yeah, but all he has is a hook and bees. Like, Freddy's walking around with like 90% of his body burned. Like,
yeah, bees on top of a burn? Are you kidding me?
Pain is not an issue with Freddy Krueger. But, I mean, it's one hook versus 5 razors. I'd just say Freddy's going to win.
I think in terms of enduring pain, Candyman's cultural pain outweighs that of Freddy's burns.
It's true. But
I'm going to say Candyman on this. You're going to say Freddy?
I'm going to say Freddy.
Okay. I'm interested to see if... Okay, now who fucks?
Candyman.
Candyman, sure.
Hands down.
Yeah, it's like, okay, a pedophile versus Candyman?
Candyman
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I just see it in my mind's eye, Freddy being like bent over and just like taken to town.
Not necessarily each other. I'm just saying who fucks.
No, it's going to be each other.
No, it doesn't have to be.
It does.
Well, I'm going to say it doesn't have to be. It's my game. Okay, next pairing. We got Leatherface versus Michael Myers. Okay. Which killer
In a
wins
fight?
In a fight. Both. We're going to go with the originals, right?
With the originals.
Yeah, 74 versus 78.
I'm going to say Leatherface then, because he's got a chainsaw.
Not only does he have a chainsaw, he's a hulking massive boy.
Right. Yeah.
He's a big, big boy. And
and I feel even if Michael Myers like stabs him in the neck, he would still like be like,
I eat people,
I don't
bitch.
give a shit.
I literally eat people.
Right.
What the fuck? Like, I'm going to eat you up.
Right.
Okay, now who fucks?
I'm gonna have to go Michael Myers.
Yeah, I am too.
Strong, silent, got that big old dick on him.
Big old hanging dick.
Yeah.
But I think
So
Bubba is kind of like a little handicapped.
Yeah.
I think he's
okay. So
he's
what does
neurodivergent?
What does Leatherface's dick look like? We got to figure this out.
I mean,
short and girthy.
Yeah, like a pop can. Yeah. You got it, and he's got a little bit of a panis,
and
going
it's like football shaped.
Oh, gross!
Tiny.
It can
head.
never really get in.
Yeah, it's like a tiny head.
It's like a massive butt plug.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're glad we figured that out.
Next pairing, we got Jason versus Pinhead. This was a hard one to pair up. I wasn't sure who to put Jason against, so I was just like, let's put him against Pinhead. I don't know if that's fair.
Yeah.
We're gonna for this one.
Yeah, that's a hard one because
we're gonna go with classic Jason. So we'll go like Jason Lives, maybe 6 or 7,
like hockey mask Jason.
Yeah. Not
bag.
Not
Jason.
baghead Jason or anything like that. So
whoa.
What?
I don't know.
Oh. Who do you think? Jason keeps coming back from the dead over and over and over and over.
I mean,
again.
Pinhead is like a demon from hell.
Yeah, well, not. He's from someplace beyond hell.
A pain dimension. Or something.
Or pleasure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Jason.
Wow, really?
I think so.
You gotta get the box and send him back.
Yeah, I feel... Well,
I think Jason could do that. I don't know if he's like... Jason's not the smartest. Like, the best pairing would have been Bubba or Leatherface versus Jason.
Yeah.
That's a much more squared up fight.
Because they're neurodivergent.
Right.
And, yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
I think it goes to the Cenobite. I think it goes to...
Yeah, I guess Pinhead, because you can't really kill him.
Yeah, you can't kill him. You can just send him back.
Yeah.
Which is all you can do to Jason. This is a standoff.
Yeah, because, I mean, Pinhead would use the hooks. He would just rip apart Jason.
Okay. Well, we'll decide it by deciding who fucks.
Okay.
Pinhead.
Right.
Is the question. It's his whole thing.
It's like the embodiment of S&M.
Yeah.
Like, guy has a dungeon.
Dude fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he's got toys hanging off the walls.
He's like that guy with the scooter that just fucks his girlfriend as they're riding it.
Yeah.
Did you see that on Crazy Fucking Video?
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Okay. So now we got our next pairing. We got Chucky, all right, from Child's Play versus Jigsaw from Saw.
This feels like an easy win for Chucky.
It kind of does, doesn't it, right?
Yeah.
It's just, he's an X factor. He's a wild card. He's too small to keep track of. He's just going to run through your shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a good pairing, right?
Well, it's an obvious pairing, but it's no contest.
How do you figure?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jigsaw, like, he's got to put a bunch of...
He relies on the element of surprise. Like he does planning and creates a whole big, orchestrated, he kind of puppeteers things. But...
And Jigsaw is literally just a puppet. It's not...
Yeah, my apologies. So, what's her face? Or the orchestrator behind the whole thing. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. So not the literal puppet Jigsaw.
Right. No. I'm talking about the
Oh,
the orchestrator of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chucky would still win.
Yeah,
because he
I am too.
scurries.
Okay.
Like, whatever trap you can set up, Chucky can scurry around it.
Right, now who fucks?
Chucky, I think. Chucky again.
Dude, dolls don't have dicks. Oh, except for in Bride of Chucky.
I mean, just, you know, if you don't have a dick, you just got to double down on the oral.
Yeah, I feel like
really.
I feel like the Saw guy really he's compensating for the fact that he's like impotent or something.
Right.
You know, I feel like he's just like I just need to fuck people up somehow. You know, whereas I mean, Chucky has the seed of Chucky.
I feel like
he could throw the seed of Chucky in your face.
Jigsaw.
Like, ah!
Jigsaw. Everything has to be right for him. Like, it's one of those guys that he can't come until, you know, there's an elaborate death machine.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. No,
like,
yeah, I completely agree.
So where it's like just vanilla fucking, it's just he's never gonna do it.
Yeah.
So like
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
Yeah.
So every time you gotta fuck Jigsaw, it has to be this huge hassle.
Yeah.
Like all this warm up, like tons of foreplay where you're just like, sometimes I just want to get fucked, Jigsaw.
Yeah, just put it in your mouth, idiot.
And Chucky, I feel, could go to town in any number of ways.
Okay, our next pairing, Norman Bates versus Hannibal Lecter. Okay. This is... I feel like it's not fair, exactly.
Not really.
Because Norman Bates, not a prolific killer.
No.
Whereas Hannibal Lecter is a...
And situational.
Cannibal. Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, I
guess it depends on... Okay. Does Hannibal show up to Norman's hotel?
Right. Is it... So the scenario is Hannibal shows up. He's just staying overnight. He's got a road trip, staying at Bates Motel for just a night. I think what happens is Norman. There's some kind of I want to
orchestrate it so that Norman wins.
Hannibal, like, somehow offends Norman. As like because Hannibal is like.
He says,
pompous and
you're a little mama's boy, are you?
Yes.
Little mama's boy.
Yeah, he analyzes him and then it sets Norman off. And then Norman like surprises Hannibal and gets a couple stabs in before Hannibal gets away. And then Hannibal turns around and kills him.
I feel like it's a little bit of a draw, but with an edge to Hannibal.
Yeah.
Okay, now which one fucks? I think this is also a draw. I think they equally don't fuck.
I think Hannibal fucks.
Okay.
No, Hannibal fucks.
All right.
I mean, more so than Norman Bates. Norman Bates is like, he's got arrested development.
Yeah.
Like, he's not healthy. You know,
what does that mean?
He's a chronic masturbator.
Aren't
like, he's not very good at forming human relationships.
You're just
and
not
being
terribly
in tune
important
with people.
Yeah.
Hannibal, you know, I feel like he can dick down when he needs to.
Finally, we have...
Oh, well, you know.
Jack Torrance versus Patrick Bateman. So Jack Torrance in The Shining versus Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. We obviously have a...
Does Jack Torrance have supernatural help like he does in The Shining?
Yes. And to give Jack a little bit of a boost, we have him in his element. He is at the hotel, and he is fully psychotic at this point.
Yeah, I'd say Jack.
What?
Yeah, I think so.
Give me the bat, Marge. Give me that bat.
I think it's a lot closer.
Wow.
Than you want to think. Because, like, I think they're probably pretty equally matched. Patrick Bateman's very situational. It's like he's either picking on weak victims or he's surprising them.
Listen, I cannot understand you. It's crazy. You're a fool. I can't cope with the stupid bitchy. Understand?
Jack is like pure rage and like...
What American Psycho movie did you watch?
The one.
where he's like fully, like completely enraged and engorged.
Well, yeah, but that's after like he's got the setup of either, you know, he's got Jared Leto sitting on the couch and like whining and dining him, and
cannot be controlled.
If you don't shut your fucking mouth, I will kill you.
I think this obviously goes to Patrick Bateman.
Really?
Oh my, yeah.
Well, of course you would say that.
He does 1,000 crunches a day. Jack Torrance is just sitting there getting fat in the hotel.
Yeah, but he's also got a bunch of ghosts to kill Patrick Bateman.
All Jack Torrance has to do is kill a woman and his child, and he doesn't even accomplish that.
Well, he kills Scatman Crothers.
Okay, so it's questionable whether Patrick killed anybody.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. So
who fucks?
Let's just say it's a tie. Who fucks? This is I mean, I guess you got to go with Patrick, right?
Sabrina, don't just stare at it. Eat it.
Because we've witnessed it.
Well, a lot. Yeah.
You're not going to enjoy it, but he can fuck.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you're not going to enjoy it at all. He'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah, I don't feel like Jack
is not.
To be honest with you, I kind of feel like if Jack had, there would be no movie.
Right.
You know, it'd just be like, oh, just take care of his knob.
Right.
Just empty those balls a lot.
It should be a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Like
what happens when you don't?
You got to milk your man.
Yeah. You got to get those mommy milkers out and get them wet.
Yeah. And you got to, yeah.
That number is 682-253-4468. Give us a call. And that was Which Killer Wins. Thanks again for listening. We really need your support. If you can share, if you can't make it to the Kiggins show, but you can share our Kiggins show event, please do so. It means the world to us. I really want this thing to go well. And, again, those dates are, March 25th. And let's see here. I think oh yeah. The Exorcist plays on March 25th. The Burbs plays on April 22nd. The Fly plays on, May 27th, and Hereditary plays on June 24th. Doors open at 9, and the pre-show starts at 9:30, and we are going to have an absolute blast. We got lots of sponsors. We got lots of fun stuff planned. We even have a friend of the show who's going to be doing the, what do you call it? Town crying out in front of the movie theater. So come on by. It's going to be a cult-like experience. And we just are super excited to do that for you. Share the show with a friend. Support us on Patreon and using our Amazon link at horrormovietalk.com. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We sure do hope you have a good week. Bye.
Looking for a podcast full of burps and gas, perverted cast, skinny and fat? Look no further. Horror Movie Talk is accidentally funny, begs to donate money, fake sponsors for dummies, and so much more. New episodes every hump day. They'll pickle your dickle for foreplay. Patreon members have it your way. Vote for a movie every month for the review. Chompa chompa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner Robinson kiss. Bryce Hansen, look at them hot kids. Chris Henson, masturbate with a crucifix. Exorcist, face huggers, chest bursters. Alien, Linda Blair peed on Sigourney Weaver. I know it's true cause it came from social media. Patrick Bateman can't understand you. Stab you to death for rotten apple reviews. Opinionated podcaster with a doctorate. Spookology, doctor of philosophy. Bad gastritis, need colostomy. Turn Patreons into human centipede. David Doobie Day, scare him, no expert. And Goble fucks hard, professional sexpert. After pods, taglines, and porno flicks. American flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, it's dinner rubs. Nothing good happens in the woods. Always get more than you bargain for. Got a pickle to dickle, machines tickle biddies. Killer on the phone, ain't no sharing stove. Vancouver, Portland, Oregon, and organs. Corona, COVID, curse, Lorona. Green River Killer, because reasons. Hallway of poop monster kids screaming. Ain't your ordinary dingleberry itinerary. 30-day shutter and jump scares, they fucking scary. Time for the spoilers with jokes and tropes. Use their white socks to catch their loads. Just show them one titty, pretty. Paganism you should worship, they Teflon dicks. Pacific Northwest, let them see one breast. Shifty eyes stay spooky, poor man's digress. Bugsy, HMT, horror movie talk. Hold on, they don't like Halloween. Fuck them.
This episode is brought... Four words. Didn't even get 4 words.